All right, Cave.
I'll bring it in.
Yeah, bring it in.
I'll bring it in. All right, are we ready?
Yeah, we're all recording.
All right.
Yep.
Welcome to the...
Is he disconnecting for anyone else right now?
Yeah, he is.
All right.
This is a fucking mess, dude.
Yeah,
Holy
dude, this
shit.
is a technological just field day.
We should just leave this in there and show everybody how fucking terrible this is. Holy hell.
Maybe I will. Welcome.
Yeah,
I'll just quick do it real quick while Cave is like lagging. Welcome to Who Up Pod. I'm Clay. I'm here with Chris Cave, Glitchy Cave, and then we have a guest here, Kai Klops. Not only an incredibly talented artist, but also one of the hosts of Monster Crazy.
Thank you very much for the wonderful introduction, Clay. That's right. My name is Kai. And the aforementioned podcast is one that I started with Cameron of Podcast About List just like a couple weeks ago. And the idea about it is that we are crazy about Monster. Every episode we do a deep dive on a monster from any canon, be it book, movie, folklore, whatever, and do our fair share of research and just talk about the monster. We try to not talk so much about the media in which it appears and just focus on the creepy dude himself. So we have 2 episodes out right now. The first one was on Pennywise the Dancing Clown, and the second one's on The Suckling, which is a horror movie from 1990. But yeah, so it's very fun. You guys should check it out. We have a blast.
Yeah, do you guys talk about do you guys have any plans to talk about like cryptids and shit like that?
Well, actually, it's funny that you bring that up. The episode that we're recording this week is on a cryptid. Actually, when does this come out?
This will come out next Tuesday.
Yeah.
So a week from today.
Okay, well then it doesn't matter if it's a spoiler anyways. I think it's fine. We're going to talk about something called the Snallygaster, which is a cryptid from Maryland that is not real and was just a whole bunch of people in the Prohibition trying to scare other people away from looking at their stills in the woods, like Scooby-Doo. It's I'm very excited. It's gonna be fun. I reached out to the American National Snallygaster Museum in Frederick County, Maryland. So I have some direct quotes from the curator. They were really quick to respond, which I feel like most people who like dedicate their lives to cryptids are quick to respond if you have a question about their cryptid.
Oh yeah.
Well, here's the thing. Cryptids are like they're not necessarily like always. There is like a cult about that shit. Like people just like really put their whole lives into it, and either believe it or just find it that interesting.
Yeah.
Like I went to Point Pleasant, West Virginia, like close to my house, and it's near where my grandma lived. And like the whole town is like centered around Mothman. Like there's a literal Mothman statue in the middle of the town. There's shops that say like Mothman. Like the grocery store is called like the Mothman convenience store, some shit like that. That's like the town.
I think that's awesome. I really wish where I'm from just had a monster that we could theme everything after.
It'd be so sick.
Actually, it seems I haven't been to Frederick County, but after doing research on the Snallygaster, they also do that exact thing. Like they have a distillery, and they in 2018 they released a whiskey called the Snallygaster. And it's clear that the whole like that county, definitely everyone knows what the Snallygaster is, and literally nowhere else does anybody know what that is.
It's so cool that like I think it's really cool that you guys are doing Monster Crazy, because now it feels like there's with TikTok and everything, people coming from just every walk of life are able to talk about like goofy shit that they want to talk about, right? And I guarantee that there's some fucking teenage girl who's like talking about the Snallygaster on TikTok and just like, my town is so crazy, but like you can like, I don't know, filter a lot of that like wow, look at this spectacle of whatever town, and like just strictly talk on the monster with no like goofiness to it. I don't know.
Right.
I love to talk on Monster.
You want to?
Fucking the whole town. When I went
Oh
to Point
my
Pleasant, the thing was like,
God.
what's wrong? What happened, buddy?
It's
Are you talking to me? My
yeah.
connection is just.
Oh,
Yeah. We can
Okay.
kind of tell. But yeah, Chris. Sorry, Chris. Yeah.
oh yeah. Anyway, the whole town is like fucking eerie as hell. Like, and you drive out into the woods, and there's like bunkers where they used to store like nuclear shit during like World War II. And like
That's
they're just kind of like
incredible.
abandoned. They're just like kind of abandoned. Like it's like it was a really military. So like there is like that is the reason. Like
Oh, Chris,
Like,
you're cutting
like-
in and out again. By the way.
no. I was like trying to get my thoughts
okay.
together. They're like shit. What was I saying? Oh, people are like sincerely like scared, and it's a really weird area. And even like there was like a 80s, and like people claim to have seen the Mothman on the bridge before it collapsed.
Oh, weird.
That's so cool and weird. I love little spaces like that in the US. We have like so many just like quiet towns that feel a little bit off that are probably completely fine, but like that feeling of something right beneath the surface in a small town environment is like so American and weird. And honestly, like even in Minnesota, we have plenty of spaces like that where they don't have a town monster, but like we have a place called Stillwater.
Yeah.
And it's like a quaint, cute little town, and it's called like something would totally take place. Like
My dad lived in the most haunted house in Stillwater.
really,
Yeah.
was there spooky skeletons?
No, there was a ghost that lived like in the house. And he remember because he's 12 years younger than his youngest brother. Or his
What?
oldest brother. Like he has three brothers that are older than him, and the youngest out of those three is 12 years older than he is. So my dad like remembers like a lot of his childhood was spent listening to his brothers telling a ghost to shut up. My dad actually told me one of the most insane stories about like a Christmas Eve. This ghost like came to his room and like told him something and said that if he ever repeated it, that something bad would happen. And so my dad
Did he ever repeat it?
No, he wouldn't even tell me what the ghost said. He just
Oh my gosh.
he's just like his face went like white and he was like, I can't tell you.
I hate when my face goes white.
His face went white. That means that your dad is the ghost.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, no,
I don't know.
he said it was like crazy.
That sounds fucking wild. I don't think I've had any like straight up ghostly experiences, except my grandparents live in the middle of the woods in Arkansas, and they have this little they have a guest cabin that used to be their house, but then they built a bigger house. And I get freaky dreams when I'm there every time, and they always have green skies. And also, I am not a sleepwalker, but I have sleptwalked twice in that cabin.
Oh wow.
Which is, that's freaky and weird. It could just be something like my brain already thinks that it's freaky and weird in there, and so then I'm just doing the rest myself. But
right.
But
yeah, you can't like prove that.
Yeah,
it's like something could be just creeping around.
I don't know, Chris and Cave. Do you guys believe in spooky scaries?
I believe in paranormal shit for sure. Like ghosts, at least, like spirits and shit. Like that's definitely a possibility.
I used to like wholeheartedly believe, but right now I'm at a point in my life where like I would have to experience something like before I could like really dive into it again.
For sure.
Like, it's just like, I don't know. As like a kid, it seems like such a real possibility. And I don't know. I've just never had anything where it's like, what the fuck is that?
Totally. From based on my experiences, I don't know that I believe in like a see-through guy that has his own like sentience and stuff coming out and be like,
right,
get out of my house. But I think I do believe in just sort of like the dead leave vibes a little bit.
Energy.
Yeah.
For sure.
If we're talking like residual energy, I 100% believe in that. Like,
yeah.
Like,
I mean, at that point, it's just definitional. I mean, I call that ghosts.
Right. Cross. Oh my god. Damn.
You're good,
That's
man.
what's
We can,
so
we
weird.
can
Like,
kinda,
don't get pissed.
Yeah, we can
just
kinda
like
hear
Yeah, I don't
just-
think you guys can hear me. Huh?
No, we
I
can hear you.
oh, we can hear you.
You just didn't tell me before
Oh.
coming on that you were a robot.
Yeah.
You sound
I
good.
think that's
No,
cool, though.
I like. I guess I wouldn't call that like ghost for me personally, but I understand like why.
Right.
Like it's like, dog, I'm gonna kill my. It's very similar.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll turn into a ghost.
It's sad because he doesn't really know like what we hear. So it's like we hear most of what he says, but then he'll just like cut a little bit.
Yeah. Well, and then he like cut really hard.
Yeah, but,
Another thing was cool about I didn't know too much about Mothman. Grandparent shit, but my uncle had a story about it one time.
You cut out, Chris.
Why did I cut? Oh, do I sound good now?
Yeah, you sound fine now.
That was weird. Maybe Discord's just like shit right now.
Maybe
But,
it was paranormal.
maybe the
the
ghosts don't like that we're talking
chat.
about us. Yeah, I pissed off.
Ghosts got into Discord ghosts.
The ghosts are like, keep your name out my mouth, child.
What I will say real quick though, going like kind of coming back around to the small town with like a hidden layer. There's like just something a little off kilter there, whether it's like actually something or if it's just weird, kind of like Stillwater. Is like I feel like that kind of makes some of the best monsters, whether like folklore or just like fictional or whatever. You know, like I mean, you guys' first episode's about Pennywise, which is about a monster that lives in a town that has similar vibes to all of these. You know what I mean?
Totally. I feel like as someone who has not spent a lot of time in rural East Coast anywhere, I feel like the East Coast is just rife with that kind of atmosphere.
I think a lot of it comes from age too. Because
Yeah,
the
totally.
East Coast has been. I mean, obviously, all of the land that we live on is
Yeah.
been used for years before we were even here, right?
Native Americans weren't building
there.
spooky churches.
Right. No, exactly.
Speaking of spooky churches, I have to say something really quick. There's a spooky spot where I grew up. It's called Nest Church. For the listeners, go to google.com, type in Nest Church, Litchfield, Minnesota, and maybe someone on this podcast has left a review of their experience at Nest Church when they were in high school
Is it
on
spooky?
the page. It is very spooky.
Nice.
Some people got arrested for like ghost hunting out there.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
like
kinda
it's a for real spot that like people go to and like have claimed to have had weird experiences.
That's pretty sweet.
Hey, you have a wife and 7 children?
Oh God, did you pull up the review? Yeah. Well,
Wow.
I did.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Oh,
continue to
wow.
read the
No,
review,
yeah, I see.
I
You don't anymore.
Yeah.
Well, I think we could just leave that a mystery to the audience unless they
They
have
can
the rigor to
Totally
Google it themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
But your love.
I'm
of
sorry you went
mon-
through that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, it's okay. I mean, we're here, we're trucking along, you gotta everyone goes through hardships sometimes, some are worse than others, and I've had it really rough, more than anyone else could ever.
My life has been perfect, dude. I don't know what you're talking.
But your love for monsters doesn't just come out in the podcast either. It really shows in a lot of your artwork as well.
Also, when I jerk off.
Yeah.
And when
Check
you're
out the
listening to
monsters.
Skillet.
I know I was kidding about the jerking off one, but or was I? Just
Was
kidding.
it?
Ooh, real
It'd be so
mom
sick if you could.
prompt.
It'd be
Pennywise with boob. Pennywise with boob ass. Xenomorph ass.
I did Google naked xenomorph one time.
It
I mean,
is naked.
Let's be honest. I mean, if you're into like hentai and you can, that has to be the best feeling in the world, to be able to just draw something and jack off to it.
Yeah, that
You
is
know, I
kinda
have to
cool.
say, I have never done that. I think technically speaking, I could probably draw someone fucking like with some detail.
Wait,
But,
hang on. You guys have never drawn like a sexy picture?
I've drawn a sexy
No.
picture, but I've never jacked off to it.
Yeah, no, I don't think I have either.
All right. Well, you know what? Sometimes, you're, 13, 14 years old. You have a notebook in your house.
No internet.
Wait, you did
Yeah.
that?
yeah, you didn't
I
have
guess,
internet,
yeah,
dude.
Yeah, I didn't have internet, man. We had a Victoria's Secret magazine that my mom got in the mail. That was like the only real material we had. So I had like a composition notebook. So you just like, I don't know, like I just like, you'd learn how to draw like just like the body of like a woman,
Did you not have like a TV?
We didn't have cable for a very long time.
I would jack
either.
off to the Latina girl on Modern Family when we did.
Yeah, no, like I remember my very first like experience was like I can't even remember the scene, but there's like I think isn't there a part in Knocked Up with like Seth Rogen and Katherine Heigl? Like there's a part where Katherine Heigl, like for whatever reason when I was younger, like made me horny. And that was like the first like media thing that I ever jacked off to.
Mine was a song. I jerked off to My Humps by Fergie.
Hell yeah.
All right, that's a sexy song. That makes sense.
I just remember just saying, my humps, my lovely lady. I'd just be like, oh, I'm 13. I'm 13.
It's like 10 o'clock at night. You're in bed just singing it out loud.
I think the weirdest thing I've jacked up to is the Bees in the Trap music video by Nicki Minaj.
Bees in
I
the
think
trap.
bees.
I don't think that's weird.
You don't think it's weird?
No.
She was shaking.
Nicki
it.
Minaj music video isn't that weird.
Yeah, like seeing Nicki Minaj is not like a weird thing to get horny about.
I guess you're right. Maybe I'm just projecting.
I wish I could remember what exactly the Katherine Heigl scene in Knocked Up is that I like for whatever reason like jacked off to.
Is it the one where they're fucking? Like,
Do they have a scene where they fuck?
Yeah.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of then, because it was
I
like
think of the right movie. It's the one with Seth Rogen, right?
yeah, it was like one specific part, and like I held on to that memory for probably like a year, and that just like I would replay it in my head. That was like what it was.
Yeah, there's a sex scene in there. I think there might be two.
Then it was probably the sex scene in Knocked Up that I just like stored in my memory and just kept on jacking off to.
Go into the movie theater and taking a screenshot, I guess, in your head.
Yeah, but it wasn't even in the theater. I think my parents rented it.
It's even funnier.
Before I really like knew how to jerk off, but was probably like, I was old enough that spunk was building up. But like, I didn't have any real conception of what jerking off was. I remember this one's grody, but I am going to say it because we were all kids once, but yeah. I was just, my parents were gone. My dad and my stepmom were gone. My stepsister was gone. And I was just like walking around the house and like just decided to like walk into the garage just to like look at stuff. Like I didn't have anything else to do. And there was just like a bike seat with a big cushy bike seat with a crack in it. And I fucked it.
Hell yeah, dude.
Without even really knowing what I was doing. It was definitely formative. Now I have a bike thing.
Yeah.
now I really like bike suits.
And see now jerking off is the monster inside all of us.
Yeah.
The bike seat is a very uteral shape.
It is. Actually, I don't have a bike thing, but that is true that I did fuck a bike seat in the garage just because like I didn't even go in the garage looking for anything to fuck. I was just like being 12 and wandering around in the garage looking at like hammers and stuff. And then I saw, I caught its eye like a beautiful woman in a bar. And then we locked eyes and I sauntered over.
Can I buy you a drink?
Think about how terrifying that is. Like how horny we were in our like early teens.
Oh yeah, like just like humping a couch or something like that was.
That's horrifying.
I mean, like you think about that
very scary.
Outwardly, it's like it's crazy.
Have you seen that video of those guys in India who like just haven't really seen a woman before, and like the reporter is just like, look at these poor depraved men. They're like so horny, and they're just like staring at her and smiling like rabid dogs. It's
like the happiest they've ever been in their life.
Yeah, but in a scary way. Like imagine if like we like never ever got to see a pussy or a butthole or whatever it is that we want to fuck. And then like just held on to that intense voracious horniness into adulthood. All of a sudden you just have zombies. I mean,
oh yeah.
Yeah. It's very scary to be like in your 20s or potentially even like 30s, like just have that pent up inside of you.
Just insanely, just like see, because here's honestly the dichotomy of that is you either just hate women or you love women.
Yeah, I love women to a fault.
Uh-huh.
You know, if we're talking about these Indian guys.
Have you guys seen? Do you guys know that video?
No, I don't.
Yeah, I've
No.
seen it.
Wait, what?
I
don't think.
Hold on, you guys keep saying really cool stuff while I look for this.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's like it's almost like we get Patreon money to do that.
Uh-huh. Well, hold on.
I accidentally brought up a porn.
Whoops.
Oh, oops.
Reporters cover exclusive horny hostage news. Nope. Okay, well, I don't think I'm gonna be able to find it, so never mind. But it is. If anyone who's listening has seen it, it's harrowing.
It's heroin.
There's honestly, there's a lot of crazy stuff that you see online that I think is like cool that you tell me about.
Me?
Yeah, you're a veteran of finding guys online.
Oh yeah, I'm like a truffle pig for the freaks.
Yeah.
Oh, I love going through a woman's comments and just finding guys. Like there was a guy last night that said it was just like a picture of a girl's boobs, and he was like, I love boobs, prefer ass though.
No, there's like straight up demons that I think like Kai has found on Instagram.
Oh yeah,
really?
there's that one guy who I think is like a berserk demon. Who
Didn't he die, or is he still alive?
No. Oh no, that's a different guy. I found a guy on Twitter. I don't know if I should put his @ in here, but basically I found this guy. I like following these accounts that are like, I just want a dude to like have tattoos and watch horror movies and drink coffee. Is that too much to ask? And like they just like post like, I don't know, fuck me like I'm an animal, or they post crazy shit. And then you go into the replies of those, and that's where you find a lot of these people like growing like fungus. It's because they're like turning over a log and looking for cool bugs. But and it's a very rich environment for them. And I found this guy like years ago named some iteration of the Irish Gentleman. And he looks like a buff military Shrek. And he just going through his comment history, he's just like the horniest person I've ever seen, like ever, but combined with being very sentimental. So he's just like, I wish someone would like wish me a good night and cuddle fuck. Anyways, the long and short of it is he's a major freak. I love him, but I noticed at the beginning of the pandemic, he started tweeting like I just want to go home. Like, I'm done. I can't anymore. And like, that's standard fare because he was pretty dramatic. But then all of a sudden I like 2 years later realized that I was like, wait, what happened to that guy? And I looked at his account, and his last tweet was, I just want to go home. And I was like, oh fuck. Did this horny freak that I like kill himself?
No.
And then I checked him back a month later, and it was just him retweeting anal. And I was like, yo, the king's back. It was awesome.
Such an awesome feeling. Never so excited to see fucking
I have a guy
guys
like
getting fucked in the ass.
There was a guy, he was on hospice when he bringing up the fact that he was on hospice. Right. He's just like, I'm dying and I love your like shit like that. And
that's awesome.
Well, he hasn't tweeted in 3 months.
Oh no.
So he's gone for sure.
He's loving ass in heaven.
But he would just be like, as somebody on hospice, I have no reason to lie. That pussy looks beautiful.
That guy rules. There's a guy that Sex J like sent me. He was like, I have to share this guy with somebody. And he's a guy who's like addicted to gambling. But also like like loves going to Hooters a lot. And he's like, it's so funny just like to see him be like tweeting at porn stars or at Hooters, and then be like, one day I'm gonna find the real one who's gonna ride and die with me. And he's just like this kind of just like crazy dude. And then he'll be like, yep, I just bet $1 million on whatever. Or he'll be like, yep, I'm in the hole now. Hopefully I can dig myself out.
Lost $1 million today.
Like, I don't know,
Oh
it's
my
just
God.
like so funny because like some of it is just like the most insane horny tweeting, and then just being like tweeting about sports betting.
Oh, those guys will always be like their tweets are just like about MMA, and then the replies are like, "You were so darling, sweet pussy nectar. I wanted so bad." Like,
I love it when those guys like are just like they'll offer to fly a girl with 500,000 followers out to their house in Detroit.
Yes.
Like, and they clearly have no like rapport. Like, they're just like shooting. And like, honestly, I kind of like, I have to respect just like the hip fires like that.
Yeah, there's this one, there's a tweet at Sarah Underwood that this guy did where he's just like, yeah, I'm awesome for her and she knows it. You know, like she's like, he's like basically talking as if she knows who he is and like like he would want him if they had the chance.
oh, that rocks. Well, those guys that act like, who's the one guy that's like constantly? There's an old account that's like constantly calling Kelly Ripa a bitch and stuff, and being like, Kelly Ripa, you know what we had was special. And he add her and replied all of her tweets like, "Please come home, I miss you so much, Kelly," and shit like that. And like,
We're entering a new era for these guys that I really love, where it's like the TikTok Stitch era. Like,
Yes, dude. I fucking the
Like-
Irish gentleman is so funny. Oh, maybe I shouldn't have said it, but
That's fine. Sorry to interrupt. I just
Hero Mark.
posted
No.
a really unflattering
Oh
dick
my
shot
God.
a while
Yeah,
ago.
his dick looks so goofy there. I marked it. I'm gonna
Like,
edit out his user, but
but like I saw something the other day. There was like this young girl. She's probably like what 18 or 19, talking about if you like spicy foods, you're probably kind of kinky. And then this old guy like stitches it. And he's like, my favorite food to eat is the Carolina Reaper pepper. He's like, I can eat the actual like ground peppers just plain. And he pours it in his hand and eats it. He's gotta be like 60 going on 70.
I saw that dude. He fucking rocks, dude.
Yeah, it's just like, oh God, like these guys have much more access than they probably should have.
Okay.
You know?
one of my favorite
thing about-
guys who's like started out as like a goofy like guy like that online was he's like he does like the hello to my queens over 18, that guy on TikTok. Have you seen that guy?
Yeah, I remember that guy.
He's always like looking like down on you, like you just woke up and he's like right there.
Yeah, he's like,
Yeah.
that guy's like, now I think he's got like merch and stuff. Like he's like just
Fuck.
famous for being like a cool
Old
like
man.
thirsty man who's like not
Yeah.
being like disrespectful or rude, but initially like it started out as a guy who's like, you know, stitching these TikToks with like these like 20-year-old girls being like, you look beautiful.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
and like yeah. No, it's very wild. I wonder how much worse the problem is going to get as our generation ages.
Well, I also wonder just like, I mean, like look at, because I don't think Jason was like ever like fully like a freak.
Mhm.
I feel like he's always been
No.
kind of just like a content creator guy.
Mhm.
Well, yeah, but I mean, have you also seen the videos of him just like fucked up, like carving sigils into his
Yeah.
wall with a screwdriver?
I was about to say, mine and Jason's been pretty fucked up for a while. He would like do shit like get drunk as shit in 2017 and just post like, I fucking hate transgender people and I'm gonna eat a fucking spaghetti sandwich.
I mean, he still does
Just
that.
this last year, he was like posting some chick that he was like having sex with. Who knows if she was like a sex worker or not? Like in a
Yeah.
Starbucks apron, you could like see her fucking pussy hanging out of like the Starbucks apron.
But I guess like the thing to me
Okay,
is
but
it's
the,
like,
the thing about that is his phone was on, like his flash was clearly on, and she was smiling and laughing. I feel like maybe she was a sex worker, but I feel like
she was
you
like
know,
more
but-
in on it.
Yeah, no. It's just still wild to share that.
Sure.
oh
Like,
yeah,
But
like
also there's like,
that's what I'm talking about.
it's wild to share that, but like it's kind of what his whole brand is like built on.
Yeah,
And,
but
like,
that's
I think he's-
that's like some crazy person shit.
But he also like I feel like he's like to some extent like a little self-aware. You know what
yeah. I mean, also,
Whoa,
every
whoa,
once in a
whoa.
while he is funny in a way that's not like an accident.
right.
Well, he
Yeah.
would, he would DM my ex, right? And he would just say
Yeah.
very normal shit.
Yeah.
Very, very normal shit. Because like she would show me the DMs. It would just be like, you look lovely today. I hope you're doing well. And like,
Yeah,
it's very weird to think that like he's just having conversations like that with like, because like, you know that's not the only person he's fucking direct messaging on Instagram. But it's very funny to think him just like having a very normal conversation with girls.
No, but I mean, like you look at like some of the. I mean, like we're looking at a guy whose penis is out on, like right now we're looking at a guy's dick. Like this guy's not like. This guy doesn't know that he's funny to people.
No,
He doesn't know that he's a guy. Like Mind of Jason, like no matter how you find him funny, he knows that you find him funny, whether you're laughing at him or with him, and he's just kind of like leaning into it more.
Yeah.
Totally. Also, circling back on the Irish gentleman really quickly, I found his like lapse in time where I thought that maybe he had killed himself. October 18th, 2020, he says, "I just want to go home." And then April 29th, 2021, he says, "Looking for a sub I can train."
So he took a year off. He went home for a year, came back ready to train a sub, dude.
Yeah.
That's a superhero story.
Honestly.
Oh, man. Actually, it's also on the note of like people becoming guys. I have this friend. He's a very normal dude and also incredibly funny. And he on his Instagram, he just like posts pictures with his girlfriend. But for a while, he went through a phase where he was just putting Jay-Z quotes over it, and like just to be, which is funny. But he was doing it in a self-aware way. But he started to notice that like. There was like a group of dudes that followed him who he didn't know who started saying stuff like "looking good, man." And like he realized that he had become someone's like a group of guys thought that they found a guy.
Yeah.
And I think it's so funny to just like do something like that with the intention of mimicking some like a type of person, and then have other people who don't know you assume that you are that type of person. I don't know.
It's very funny.
Yeah, things get kind of abstract if at a certain point when there's when you're trying to suss out people's intentions online.
I get nervous all the time that I'm people's guy.
I don't think that you are. I mean, you're pretty explicitly self-aware.
I mean, I try to be, but sometimes I wonder if people are just like, yeah, we found a dude.
No, here's the thing.
No, not at all, man.
The dudes you find don't have 20,000 followers, Clay.
No, I know.
Like what?
I know,
Why would
but
you
like,
be a guy?
I get paranoid sometimes, man.
You can't be a dude with like 300 followers and like all of them are from your high school, and you find a guy with 20,000. You go, okay, I found a guy.
I think I found a guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like there's a certain.
There's a level to like,
When you find the guy, you shouldn't even follow them. You
should bookmark one tweet and then go visit their profile.
Yep.
Kai, I gotta ask you this. I'm changing the topic here real quick, but have you ever had cacti?
Like a plant?
No, like the Travis Scott beverage.
Oh no, I haven't. Have you?
You gotta go get it before it's gone.
What is it?
Where do you get yours, Cave?
I got it at the Kowalski's in Uptown.
All right, so
Whoa, I live right by the Kowalski's in Uptown.
Are you fucking serious? We live right next to each other.
you guys actually do live
Are you
pretty
talking about
close.
the one? Are you talking about the one like that's also right next to the Holiday?
Yeah.
Oh,
I live right off of oh
do
god.
this after the pod. Do that part.
Either
after
way,
the
I
podcast,
live
but-
very close to the Kowalski's in the Holiday.
Yeah,
I
bro.
live
My
in like
address is
4-block radius of the CC Club.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Honestly, Cave, you should join us the next time we hang out.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a
definitely
good
hit
time.
me up, man.
We get silly.
We have
I
a
would
good
love.
time.
I would love to get silly. I haven't been silly. Like this is my first night being silly in a long time.
Oh, are you fucking twisted off the cacti right now?
Yeah, dude. I've been drinking the
what is it?
It's an agave spiked seltzer, 7% alcohol by volume. They got lime, pineapple, and strawberry. It tastes fantastic.
Honestly, Cave, if I Venmo you, will you run over to Kowalski's at some point and try and grab some for me?
Dude, I can go over there if they have it. I'll let you know.
Yeah, because then just pick me some up. I'll Venmo you for it, and then I'll just come pick it up.
There were a few cases last time I was there. I don't know if they will still be, but I'll run over there after the show and let you know.
Is it selling like hotcakes?
Well, they discontinued
yeah.
because of the Astroworld tragedy, so it's like limited quantity now.
Was there ever a Travis Scott skin in Fortnite?
Yeah.
Yes.
I have it.
That's so
I
cool.
as well have it. I have the
Is it
sickle
still-
dance too.
Is it still like?
That is
So
the
you-
gayest thing you've ever said on the show.
You can still use it.
Oh,
Dude, Kai, we should play Fortnite together.
hold on.
Totally.
I gotta address this fucking faggot right now. Cave, don't you ever say that something I said was gay. It's Travis Scott. Think about it, dude.
You're drinking cacti.
Think about killing a 13-year-old in a video game, right? And then you just start doing sicko mode dance on him with the Travis Scott
I'll tell you
skin.
this.
All right, now think about this.
Travis Scott is cooler than the skin. Think about killing a 13-year-old in real life.
Exactly.
Think about letting one die at your concert.
Yeah, letting multiple.
Yeah, he let a couple kids die at that concert for sure.
He's doing
Wasn't one of them,
take
like-
the L dance.
Wasn't one of them like fucking 8 though? Like, what was that kid doing at the concerts?
He was going to see Travis
Like,
Scott.
Well, that's the thing is he was there with his
In a
dad, so
pit?
it's like irresponsible parent alert.
Yeah, like in a pit. Like,
That'd be
What?
so
Like-
crazy to be a father taking your child to an all ages concert where people are just dying, and then
Yeah.
you lose
Yeah.
your kid, and you're just like, well, it's not my fault.
yeah.
I'm gonna go log into my Twitter account at the Irish Gentleman and post some pictures to get over this.
I would hope that if I brought my kid to a Travis Scott concert and they got trampled to death, that I also got trampled to death.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
I wouldn't.
sure.
I would not want to like precede my child because I took them to a stupid fucking concert.
Yeah.
where
Imagine
they
the
get
divorce
killed.
that comes out of that.
Oh my god,
dude! Like
Of
your
that
child's
part.
death sounds like a meme forever.
Actually,
Like,
now that I think about it, it is very depressed, divorced dad vibes to take a child to Astroworld.
Yeah, he probably already was divorced.
that is true. That is very true. Like, hey, I have you for 2 days
That's
out of
like-
the 7-day week. We're
like-
going to Astroworld.
Yeah, that's like your kid. Your kid sees you on the weekend, like every other weekend a month, and every time he's there, all he does is fucking play Fortnite. So you try to like level with him and connect with him a little bit. And
Oh my God.
and he's like, oh, Dad, I'm so excited for this Travis Scott concert. I think that'd be so cool. And it's like, yeah, maybe I'll get him ticket. Maybe we can go together. Maybe this is a way that we can connect a little more because I'm not playing Fortnite. And then, oh man, that is just kind of heart wrenching, but also
Dude,
just
that
like,
is like much more depressing.
yeah, that was really sad. I feel
don't
like the
that.
divorce that would come after that is the divorce from my corporeal form. I would fucking kill myself if that was the case.
I was going to say that guy's not doing anything but either like drinking himself to death or
I'll
like
tell you this: what you do is you have another kid.
it'd be really
Yeah.
Start.
it'd be really funny to be like just sad about it. You know what I mean? Like
not even like depressed,
yeah.
but just like
just
kind
like,
of bummed.
It's like damn, what the fuck? That's crazy.
Man, I really liked that kid.
You can just be like, this shit crazy,
Well, I
man.
guess-
My kid died at Astro.
Well, I guess 2 weekends a month.
You know,
were
I'm
for
going
that.
through a lot right now.
Yeah, I guess I have every weekend to myself now.
I think I'm gonna get myself a girlfriend.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna get my fucking dick sucked finally.
Speaking of on the topic of having like very limited remorse over something, at my job, so I work at a clinic, but the owner also owns a medical spa, and one of our estheticians, like, she was fucking ridiculous, like she was a very stupid girl, but this she like was trying to do some treatment that involves lasers on this woman's face, and the woman that she was doing it on was a very dark-skinned black woman. And apparently you need to like change the settings if you're working on the skin of like a dark-skinned black woman, because like their skin burns faster under lasers. So she accidentally like permanently gave this woman rectangular strips where she like had stripped the melanin production cells out of this woman's face. So she just had like piano keys taken out of her forehead and cheeks, where she just permanently has this discoloration. It doesn't even look like natural. Like, you know, like when people are discolored and there's like, it looks like a splash or something.
Yeah.
It's just is like sloppy rectangles all over her face. It's not going to come back. And I remember I talked to that esthetician after she did that. I was like, oh my God, like that is so horrible. And she was like, yeah, well, you know, it's just like mistakes happen. And at this point, there's not a lot that I can do about it. And I was like, oh my God, you should feel so much worse about this. You like, and also it was before her best friend's wedding.
Oh no,
Jesus
like,
Christ!
I was just like, you should quit. Like, you should, and she did get fired. But like, I like couldn't believe her like nonchalant, like self-reassuring response.
She's probably trying to like fucking reason with herself, because like I have a hard time imagining that like you wouldn't feel like absolutely horrible about that, like, and probably just trying to be like, no, like it's cool, like.
Well, she was also just sort of weird. I remember one time at work, she was just like, "Hey Kai, you're from the city, right?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she was like, "Did you ever have a school shooting at your school?" And I was just like, "What fucking planet are you from?" And I told her that I did. But like, I can't believe that people like that exist. And like,
just like
I don't know.
Yeah.
Also,
maybe this bitch is out of her fucking mind.
No, I think she is. Also, this is my last thing that I'll say about her, and it's not nearly as severe as the other two things. But one time she like bought Chipotle and was eating it in the same room as me, and she kept going, and then like I'd be also quietly eating, and then I'd hear, and I was like, okay, what's up? And she was just like, "This is so yummy." And I was like, "Oh yeah, what'd you get?" And she was like, "Rice and corn." And I was like, nothing else. And she just got rice and corn from Chipotle.
Nah,
that's so crazy.
What the fuck? Rice and corn? I'm sorry, I'm freaking out about this right now.
I just like keep thinking about like imagine any other job. I mean, like being an esthetician and then like fucking up like that. Like that's hard. You know, like that sucks. And then I'm like, what about like another job that would be like higher stakes? Like imagine being like a surgeon,
like a bomb diffuser.
Yeah, and just like continuously like not continuously, but like fucking up really bad.
Yeah,
and just being like, you know what, mistakes happen, and not everyone's perfect. I'll just move on. And like, it's like this guy's you're a brain surgeon, and you pulled it out and like just stomped on it.
Dog, you are getting paid to literally not fuck up. Like,
yeah. No, it was insane. I also like, I mean, I was not a fan of her. She kind of freaked me out, to be honest.
God, that's so crazy. I can't even imagine like fucking up that, like fucking up something like that and just like being like, what? I mean, it happens.
Yeah, shit happens.
Your room for error is so minimal in a position like that. Like you need to be doing like, you know, a good job like 99.9% of the time. Like
and the 0.1% that it isn't that. It needs to be when you're like doing someone's nails or something. It can't be when you're putting lasers to someone's face.
Yeah. No, literally.
You can't be like Dr. Eviling somebody.
People like before a fucking wedding that they have to go to.
Yeah, like cut somebody's finger off on accident. I feel like that's more forgivable than like destroying someone's face.
Yeah, no. I mean, honestly, I would rather lose like part of a finger or even an entire finger than have my face fucked up for the rest of my life.
Yeah, no, it was incredibly fucked.
Oh,
also like
God, she kind of rules.
No, it was
someone's like
also like when like someone told me what happened to the woman's face. I was like, that's horrible. But then I like didn't see her right away. And then the woman came back to like meet with my boss like a few days later. And I didn't need any introduction because like he's like I asked if it was noticeable, and the girl who saw her first was like, yeah, it's noticeable. And then I saw her and I like was just like, oh fuck. Like it literally like she had very dark skin and it was just like white, like bone white, rectangles all over her forehead and cheeks. Like it was
Jesus fucking Christ.
so fucked.
Well, what did you say was happening? Was it like a cancer procedure, like taking like parts out, or what was the?
Oh no, dude! It was a beauty procedure. This girl was just,
procedure. Okay.
This girl was trying to like do something like, and it wasn't something that should have been overly invasive. You know, like she was doing some kind of laser treatment that's supposed to like make skin look healthier or something. Like it was supposed to be relatively minimal. They just use a big laser to do it. But so like I don't know, like it would be different honestly if it was just like you have a horrible face tumor that will kill you and we need to take it out. But instead it was just like trying to juice you up a little bit for your wedding and you just get
just fucking
permanently
botched,
disfigured.
Like, well, yeah, because like I was thinking like my grandfather, he gets like shit taken out of his face for like skin cancer, so he has like some discoloration, but he's like a super like white like German Irish guy, you know. So you don't really notice it. He's got like rosacea too, so it masks. But like being like a dark skinned black woman and like having like fucking like pale white rectangles,
yeah, each
head,
one like a half inch by 2 inches, just like
Jesus.
Oh my god,
that is so bad.
It was really, really bad. I couldn't believe it.
Did she sue?
No, because she was a relative of my boss.
no.
But which is the only reason. And her best friend is my boss's daughter. It's that she was going to she was in some way related to my boss, so she didn't sue.
No like recourse then to like get something out of it.
Yeah. But it was really, really fucked up, but also, you know, not funny for that woman, but very funny in how the person who fucked up, like reacted to that.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, just like being as nonchalant as possible.
Have you guys had any freaks of coworkers that are especially noteworthy?
I don't even know.
I had some cool ones because I worked with a lot of special needs people when I worked at the. So like I had a lot of guys that were just like doing cool shit all the time. Like I had this guy Romel, and I think I've told the story maybe before on the podcast, but it's still funny. He would sit and wait like he was like the animation, like he was in a video, bounces back and forth ready for a fight.
You're clipping. You're cutting out, Chris.
Oh, hold on 1 second.
Chris worked at a grocery store.
Okay,
so
yeah.
Characters for preface.
Do I sound better?
Yep.
Yeah, you do.
Okay, I worked at a grocery store, a lot of weird characters, special needs guys, whatever. His name was Romel, and he would stand like he was waiting in a video game to fight in between grocery orders, in between like bagging groceries. And he'd be like bouncing, he'd go, huh, huh, huh. And then he would like, when the groceries would come, he'd go, ugh, and grab it and stick it in the bag. Grab the next grocery, stick it in the bag, and be quick as fuck. He was impressive.
It sounds like he was having a lot of fun too.
Oh well, yeah, he was having a blast, and he would also in the winter. And I live in Ohio, so it gets like negative temperatures sometimes. It's like cold, and he would be in only his like Kroger polo and jeans and his vest in the winter because he was like, the only way to get cold is if you think about it, is what he would say. And he would just be like there was no way he wasn't like fucking freezing to death out there for like an hour pushing carts.
Dude.
Maybe his mind overcame his body, you know?
That is a possibility. And that's something that I've considered for a long time, because there's a chance that he was superhuman.
Dude, speaking of cart pushers, I worked with a guy, his name was Josh, and he was like maybe a year or two younger than me. And he was like severely like autistic or Asperger's, like something where he wasn't like super keen on social cues. But we used to work back room at Walmart, and like we'd either have him like unload truck or push carts. And one day we had him like unloading the truck, and we had this there was a black girl working with us, and like she was friends with like everyone. She was like super cool. And I remember she like went in the truck to like help him unload stuff. And something must have happened where it like fucking disrupted his workflow, but he like called her the N-word hard R to her face. Uh-oh. And like we had a bunch of like Muslim women working with us too. And they all like took like offense to it as well, and they like all started yelling at him, and like the black girl started yelling at him and stuff too, like you can't say that and stuff. I remember he came out of the truck with like his arms up and he's like, what's the big deal, that's what she is. Like,
Oh my god.
like and then we were just like, yeah dog, you're gonna like push carts, and like he never redeemed himself after that moment. But it was just like one of those things where it's like, God, like I know you don't like understand necessarily like how you're supposed to talk to people, but like that, like dude, you cannot say that to somebody and then be like, what's the big deal, you know? And then I remember like when he was pushing carts and stuff too, he never learned, because I would have like every now and then we'd have to like go out and help him during like the winter, and he would like talk to me about like he'd be like black people look like monkeys, ha 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 ha, and it's like,
Oh
okay,
my God.
man. Like, yeah, he was like, I don't know what kind of influences he had like in his life or whatever, but like not good ones. Like,
Yeah, man, that's fucked.
yeah, he was fucking nuts, dude. Like, insane.
Oh, I had an early QAnon coworker in like 2016.
Oh, that's impressive.
Yeah, he was like a guy. He wouldn't serve Muslims that came up to the service desk at the grocery store. What else? He would, if like someone would speak a different language, he would go, "Ugh," and then he would ask everybody who they voted for, and if they would say anybody other than Trump, he would go, "Ugh." And he like had like the mannerisms of an old homosexual man, right?
You think he was an old homosexual?
He had. I don't really know. I think that he probably was deeply closeted. Maybe I know he was like single and lived by himself.
Okay.
And so he was just like an old like flamboyant guy, but he would also be like, Muslims are like subhuman and I won't serve them. And he would be like, you need to vote for Trump. What else would he say? He'd be like, I hope you aren't a democrat.
Democrat is a good one.
I had a buddy in college whose dad was like an early QAnon guy, but it wasn't because of any like racial pressures or like he didn't think like Trump was like necessarily a bad guy, but he didn't think he was like a good guy either. He was just like, he was one of those guys who looked at all the fucking like Excel spreadsheets of people who've been indicted and like all this other shit. And he was just like, he's like, no, honestly, Trump's going to drain the swamp. I mean, we are going to have, there's going to be so many pedophiles who are getting got. And like, that was like the only reason he voted for Trump was because like all the Q drops and shit like that were like.
Didn't we get Jeffrey Epstein during Trump's presidency?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he was kind of right.
I mean, yeah. No, I mean, he was, yeah. I mean, like, so the thing about the QAnon stuff is it kind of goes like insane depths of a lot of different things. But some of it is kind of like, I mean, they're not too far off.
With a lot of conspiratorial thought, it started someplace reasonable and maybe went a little too far, but there's definitely a lot of truths to be read into a good number of like conspiracies.
Well, I look at it as like maybe even more so than this, but like a broken clock is right like twice a day, you know, where it's like you have like if you're gonna take all these different like theories and ideas and stuff, like a couple of them are probably gonna stick with like all the research you're doing, you know, like and like digging and reading these documents and stuff. Like, yeah, a couple of them are gonna stick, but there's probably a lot of it that's just like,
I mean,
horseshit.
Also, if you do just start looking into like documented fact of different things that governments have done in like the past like 75 years, it's not very difficult to imagine that like any of the stuff you're accusing them of doing is like off the board. Like I remember I was recently like just reading about like apartheid and like how they were trying to genocide black people in Africa, and it was. Like first they tried to just like they're like, okay, we got to kill. There's too many black people. We got to kill them. They're like, oh no, that won't work. The Holocaust was too recent. That won't play well. So then they like wanted to sterilize the black population by like making black women infertile by pumping something into the water. But they found out that like you can't do that without making everyone infertile because everyone's like the same thing. And then they eventually landed on something that they actually went through with the South African government. They like they created like just massive amounts of Molly to try to just sedate like the black population of Africa. Which it just this is like all like a matter of record. Like it's not like this isn't a conspiracy. Like it's just a thing that happened, and it's wild to like know that was like not very long ago, and in a country that isn't founded on super different principles than ours.
Yeah,
I mean, you know, it lets knowing that stuff like that happens makes a lot of room for believing that other stuff could happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is like you go into that like I don't know if like wormhole's necessarily the right word, but like you dive down into that stuff and like
rabbit hole.
Yeah, the rabbit hole, and it's just like, good God, you know, like when you find stuff like that where it's like it's just like record, you know, like
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
like, oh my God, they really did this.
There's like it's like well documented that we've like fucked every country in South America too.
Yeah,
Like
it kind
in
of begs
some way
the
or another.
question: is man the real monster?
wow.
That's a question we might bring on to Monster Crazy.
Yeah, which
Just human beings.
Man.
I mean, we've done some terrible things. It's definitely something to explore and possible.
I mean, we are the
Yeah,
most like
sure.
evil thing I think to walk this planet. Like,
Well, I think that's skinwalkers, but whatever.
I agree. Skinwalkers are more evil.
I don't even know
Apparently-
what a skinwalker is.
It's a Native American witch in southwestern Native American lore, and it's really fucked up how they become a skinwalker. They have to perform a ritual where they perform incestual necrophilia.
Oh my god!
Yeah, so they'll like kill a sibling and fuck them, and then they get the ability to change shape and live forever. But
Jesus.
yeah, no, it's really intense, really metal stuff. It's skinwalkers are cool.
It exists in the
Skinwalkers are
Appalachians
super
too.
cool.
Really?
Really?
Yeah, it's a big thing in the Appalachians. They'll be like, if you're walking in the woods and you hear your name, no, you don't.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, it's like that's like a huge thing. Like it's like
Skinwalkers are one of the more like terrifying things that have like been conjured up out of human imagination.
to me, the Appalachians are like one of the like the spookiest places in the country. And I don't know,
Totally,
it's
it
just
is.
because I'm so close, but like I don't know. It's always given me like it's beautiful, but it's always given me like
Dude,
Some
have you ever
old world
watched
vibes.
fucking-
Yeah,
Have you ever
some
watched
eerie
fucking
vibes.
Wrong Turn? That's Appalachia.
yeah, Appalachians are like I mean, and even like the shit that like the humans that exist there. You know what I mean? It's not just like
It's creepy.
Yeah.
My grandparents live in Arkansas, and I remember we were driving through like proper Ozarks, and I think it's a similar vibe where it's just like you see really scary looking people, like they're living an alien lifestyle at a certain point.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's been like the same like 20 people in their fucking towns
Yeah,
Yeah.
for years, so they're like,
Well, it's
that
like
become
families
incest
that
at
live in a
some point?
house. Yeah, it's like families that live in a house and they literally breed with each other. Like,
yeah, because they're like, I mean, they're just so secluded.
That's like one of the scariest episodes of the X-Files. Is that
I've never watched the X Files.
there's an
I
episode
haven't
of,
either.
there's an episode of the X-Files where these kids in like this rural area, not kid, I mean I guess they're like 20s or something like that, but they keep their mom who has like no arms or no legs like hidden under the couch or whatever, like on a rolling thing. And then they like fuck their mom, get her pregnant, and then like try and have her like have babies.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's like super fucking disgusting. Like it is one of the most insane things to come out of the X-Files.
That's wild.
I don't even
I didn't
remember
know the
the
X
reasoning
Files
why.
fucked around like that.
Yeah, no, they get fucking grimy, dude. They get crazy.
I kind of thought they were just like flying saucers, kind of.
So did I.
No,
Yeah,
honestly, check out the X-Files. I mean, the thing is like most of the episodes don't have a real conclusion.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
It just is kind of like, oh, do you?
But what
believe- Do you believe in this? But some of them are just like, I mean, like the mysteries that they solve end up being like kind of fucked up like that.
This is not a natural transition at all, but there was something that I wanted to say earlier, but there wasn't a natural point. It's just in regards to fucked up coworkers. There was a time when I was like 15 where I was the fucked up coworker. That is a very funny story. But I worked at this thrift shop. Was also a nonprofit that gave the profits to people with mental disabilities, and also employed a lot of people with mental disabilities. Like I'd say like 50 to 75% of the staff like had some extra special sprinkling.
Yeah.
And I was not doing this as a bit. I was just trying to get out of work because I was 15 and was not like self-aware. I was like responsible for like the changing rooms and handing out keys. And I was like sort of like a tubby 15-year-old with a Jufro. And I just like made my Jufro more messy and put my name tag in the middle of my apron and like got some like mustard on my shirt and would like tuck one pant leg into a sock. And like, I also was already like wearing cargo pants and New Balances, and just would pretend to have a problem when people would ask for a key to the changing rooms just because I didn't want to work. So like people would like come up to me and I was just like, and like blink really hard. And I did that for like a couple days just to not work. And I swear I was not trying to be funny. I wasn't like, I don't know if you could call that clever, but I wasn't clever at that point. I was just not trying. I was just trying to not work. Right. And my manager like saw that and was like, Kai, like I see what you're doing and you like absolutely cannot be doing that. Like, what the fuck? And I didn't get fired, but, it was really fucked up. And also it was one of those things where like I was 15 and like maybe in the back of my head knew that was like a fucked up thing to do, but like, not brimming with self-awareness are 15-year-olds. So I like, after he said that, I was like, oh shit. Like that was, what the fuck was I thinking? I can't be doing that kind of stuff. But, like before that, I kind of was like avoiding questioning myself about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I just thought that was a funny thing.
When I was like, I think I was like 17. I might have still been 16. I don't remember. But I was working at this restaurant, and when we would like close up, and then me and my coworkers would like rap to beats we found on YouTube while we were like closing up. And one of my coworkers who was like white, like we had a black coworker who was like, yeah, you guys should say the N-word if you guys are rapping, just no hard R. And we were like, awesome. Oh, sick, whatever. But my like one of my coworkers was like a little too,
yeah,
like a little
like I'm the realest ass. Boop.
Yeah, and like he would just be like yelling.
Oh no!
Yeah, and so like the there was like a liquor store next door, and they were closing up around the same time we did. And one of the guys from the liquor store came over. He's like, "Hey, is everything okay over here? We heard some yelling." and we're like, "Yeah, no, everything's fine. We're just kind of goofing off while we close." And they're like, "Yeah, all right, well, have a good night, but maybe keep it down a little bit." We're like, yeah, for sure. And now that I like think about it as an adult, like he absolutely heard my coworker just yelling the N-word.
Oh my God.
Which is like one of those things that you're not like super self-aware of in that moment, but now that I just like thought of that, I'm like, oh my God, I can't even imagine.
What did the guy look like? Was he like a skinny white kid?
Yeah, he was a skinny white kid with just like the curliest mop of hair.
For some reason, I knew that he was a skinny white kid.
Thick bifocal glasses.
Oh, that's awesome!
It was so funny.
Exactly the kind of kid that would be excited to say it.
Yeah,
like the guy at the scene at the beginning of Office Space.
Yeah, yeah. Literally, yes.
I was imagining that scene recently, but reversed, where it's just a black guy and he's listening to 1 Week by the Bare Naked Ladies, and he sees another black, and he's like bopping out to it, and he sees another black guy starting to walk towards him, so he like turns it down really quickly so that no one knows that he's listening to "It's been 1 week since I looked at you." Like he's just his favorite song.
One time I read that as a eulogy.
Really?
Yeah. Me and my friends were like joking around about how funny 1 week is if you just kind of read it slowly. into the bagpipes of Amazing Grace. and so we like kind of just like we didn't stage any like fake funeral or anything like that, but we all kind of got together and like played the track, and I would just like read it really slow, and it just would sound like you're talking about like just having a bad relationship with somebody and trying to mend it, but now they're gone.
Oh my God, that's beautiful.
Yeah, it was kind of sick.
Oh yeah.
Hell fucking yeah. Well, Kai, do you have anything else you want to say on any front, I guess, about Monster Crazy or any plugs you want to do?
Well, I guess just check out Monster Crazy, and you can see updates that we're on the major, we're on the Apple one and the Spotify one, but if you want updates about it, it's our @ on Twitter is Monster Crazy Pod. And then yeah, I think that's all I really want to plug, but I also want to say thank you guys so much for having me on. It was a blast to I've met Chris a little bit, and Clay, obviously we've been chilling, but
Yeah.
Cave, it was very nice to meet you. And thank you guys so much for having me.
Yeah, dude,
Sick.
thanks for coming on.
Ooh, I got something to plug real quick.
Yeah.
I'd like to say rest in peace to my friend Crazy Keith 11. He was suspended tonight.
Oh shit.
And
What,
follow.
a week ago?
Yeah, last week.
Yeah, last week he was suspended. Follow Fortnight. Okay, he'll probably have a new account by then.
Yeah,
Plug
bro.
me. I gotta take a piss real quick.
All right,
KPVQN.
KPV
All right.
bitch respecter. Kai Klops
Bam
with a
version.
0 now instead, right?
Yeah, that's true. It's KIKL0PS.
Swag. Yeah, follow everyone. Thank you guys. Peace out.
Peace out.